Hello again. This is For the Love of Hiking. I'm back today for a full Jeep walkthrough video. Give you guys a look at kind of how things are set up now that I've got the Jeep kind of set up how I want it. Some changes from the last video. I'll go over that. You can tell that it's pollen season here. We've got tons of pollen everywhere. But yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll kind of give you a quick overview of kind of where everything is and how I've got it secured, and you know, what I'm planning on doing for storage of some items for this trip. It was a little tricky because not only do I have to have all this stuff for, you know, just getting by on a daily basis, but I also wanted to store some things like my fishing rod, which I found a nice spot for up here. Clips right into the hanger hook or whatever that is, and then I can hang the bucket with my tackle box that I use for fishing on that, and it just kind of rests on this water container. Of course, got the cooler in here. I'll take a picture and show you guys kind of what the interior of that looks like. I got some containers and all that set up for keeping items separate. Of course, I've got my bedding here, which consists of a sleeping mat, sleeping bag, 5 Degree Teton Sports sleeping bag, a pillow. This is my camping pillow, just for if I go backpacking or whatever. I really prefer to have a pillow when I'm sleeping. And then I've got this micro fleece blanket for extra cold nights. And then back here, I almost forgot to put it in the Jeep, but I put the backpacking backpack I use here, just bungeed it to the wall. It stays out of the way pretty well. This is just for keeping stuff hot when I cook it, you know, sticking like a Mountain House meal or whatever in it. Fire starters, I made at home, just stuff back in there. And then this has been very helpful. This is gear hammock. It was actually originally the netting for the back of the Jeep, to keep stuff from falling out if the hatch is open or whatever, but I found out that I could very easily repurpose it as to use it as a net, or a gear hammock I should say, and that holds all of my clean clothes. It's got this is my down jacket and rain jacket. These are thermal gear, socks, underwear, stuff like that. I got a swimsuit in here in case. This red bag here is dress shirts. I've got 3 dress shirts. I think it's good to have those on hand so that, you know, if you're really not looking or smelling too good, at least a dress shirt helps that a little bit. And then this big bag here is all of my pants and shirts. I've got about enough clothes to last 6 or 7 days at a time without washing clothes. So that should do pretty well. And then this empty drawer here in the middle, I'm going to use for dirty clothes, just to kind of keep them separated, contain a little bit of the smell. So I guess before I go any further, I'm going to real quick get this bedding and the cooler out of the Jeep, just so I can a little bit easier show you kind of what's going on underneath all that, and you know, I can access it without doing so. I can just lift this stuff up, but either way, I'll pull it out quick just so I can show you. Alright, now before I pull out the cooler, I just wanted to show y'all, first of all, I've got, this is like my normal, like, often used tools in here, and I've just got it bungeed so it stays put. And then this is snack foods, beef jerky, God knows what, crackers, whatever, all sorts of snacks that I'm just going to keep in there for easy access. Now what I wanted to show you was this cooler. I had a bit of a tricky time trying to figure out exactly how to secure it so that it doesn't slide all over the place in the Jeep while I'm driving, but I found a pretty good way. This is my 5-gallon water container here, and I'll show you that later. But I took the bungee that holds it, wrapped it through the handle, and then that secures to the tie down on the side of the Jeep. And then up on this side, I actually slid a bungee cord through the seatbelt holder and through the handle, and then hooked it onto the headrest for the passenger seat. And that actually keeps it, you know, it can move a little bit, but it keeps it in place pretty well, at least well enough where it's not going to slide all over the Jeep while I'm driving. So I'll go ahead and get that out and show you guys what else is going on here. Okay, cooler's out. Now this bucket here, the reason why it stays up is because I've got it hanging on the fishing pole actually. Now if I'm in the Jeep and I really want it out of the way, I can just kind of set it up there and it'll stay put if I'm not moving. Otherwise, it's really not a big problem to have it sitting down here. But this is a Coleman 5-gallon water container I picked up recently. It's going to really help with keeping enough water in the Jeep. Between that, the gallon container in the cooler, and the water bottles I'm going to have, I should be able to hold about 8 gallons of water at a time, which should do pretty well for my purposes. These compartments here I've converted pretty much solely to a pantry. And I've really got them stocked with food right now. I've got about 3 weeks worth of food in here. Everything from dried porcini mushrooms, quick brown and white rice, oatmeal, instant milk, chicken salad, all sorts of stuff. Peanut butter, of course. I got a few Mountain House meals in here for if I really want to go easy. And then crackers, canned goods like soup, baked beans, fruit and vegetables. Under here I've got some extra plastic bags, hash browns, oatmeal, you kind of you name it for camping food. And then on this other end I've got, these are all veggie cans, and then you can see underneath them I've got a ton of ramen, instant potatoes, and a pasta side up there, along with some brown gravy mix. So that really stores a lot of food on that side altogether, considering that it holds like 19 ramen or something in addition to everything else. So I think this is going to work really well. Now over here I've got a small pan, and then under this cloth I have a cast iron pan that I just restored and re-seasoned a little while back. So that'll be kind of where I store that, because I didn't really have any good area other than this to store the big cast iron pan. But it's a grilling pan, so it'll come in really handy for if I want to grill something up and, you know, the fire grate's nasty or there's no fire grate, or, you know, who knows what. So yeah, that's the food situation. I've made a whole list of what all I have in here, took an inventory, and yeah, it's about 3 weeks worth of food to be on the safe side. So now obviously I'm not going to go 3 weeks without resupplying probably, but I wanted to have a good head start in the Jeep. So that's what that is. And then up here in these drawers, I'll show you guys kind of what we've got going on up here. This top drawer is my bear spray, sunscreen, I believe, no, not that one. One of the bags in there, I think this red one down here, is bug spray, 2 cans of bug spray. This is like toiletry stuff, shit shovel, stuff like that. And the next drawer down, like I said, is going to be for dirty laundry. And this one down here is kind of just a hodgepodge of stuff. I've got some coloring books, and then I've got colored pencils and sharpener and all that up here. Something to do. A hat. I store my sugar in here. This is white sugar and brown sugar down here. Extra roll of toilet paper, Dixie cups. These down here are the screens that I made for the windows. They attach with magnets so that it doesn't damage the paint, and those should really help in bug season. And then this burlap sack here is just in case I want to pick up potatoes or whatever else, and help keep those a little fresh for a little longer. So then over here on this other drawer set, this bungee cord has worked very well for keeping things in. I just unattach it down here and move it to the side. This has just got like some hand warmers, extra tackle, stuff like that. And if I want to, I can stick my camera gear in here, kind of keep it out of the way. Up here I've got a portable fan that runs on D batteries, as well as a bunch of extra D batteries. I will be picking up a USB powered fan and battery bank to stick up front for Brownie as well. I want to make sure there's plenty of air movement in the Jeep so that neither of us get too hot. And then I've also got all my chargers in here, and that black case there is my power bank. So altogether, you know, it fits quite a bit of stuff in here. This is just kind of miscellaneous, scissors, extra rechargeable batteries, bug spray, sharpener, you know, God knows what. But yeah, that's just kind of miscellaneous drawer, junk drawer if you will. And then this drawer here is all my hygiene stuff. I've got body wash and ibuprofen, you know, kind of you name it for what I need for hygiene. Speaking of ibuprofen, oops, there we go. Speaking of ibuprofen, in this container here, I have a full-blown medical kit, which I added a lot of stuff to. It's really comprehensive. It has pretty much everything I'll need. This cutting board, originally I wasn't going to bring, but I'm going to be doing fishing and need to fillet fish. So this will work as a nice compact solution for something to fillet fish on. Sawyer squeeze, mini water filtration system, as well as the plunger. Storage bags, aluminum foil, sponges, Mr. Clean eraser, utensils, knives, machete, and all sorts of stuff like that. And then in the back I have stored a couple towels as well as pretty much all my dishes. I got my camp suds here, which is very useful for cleaning stuff around camp without worrying about damaging the environment. Coffee cup, measuring cups, bowls, you get the idea. So I'll go ahead and close this back up and show you the next one. The other drawer is all my cooking stuff. It's got my cook pots, some utensils, an extra stove in case one of my stoves dies, and then plenty of cooking fuel just to ensure that I don't run out. I can always pick up more on the road too. But down here I've got some rags for just cleaning stuff for car maintenance mainly. I'm not really looking to use those for a whole lot else, but and then in this container, or in this slot I should say, I've got there was WD-40 in here I got to put back in here too, but some canned stuff, funnels, lumber to help jack up the car, snow brush, hatchet, things like that, kind of longer tools, bulkier stuff that I didn't really have a great space to put, so this little stowaway spot here really works well for that. So that's pretty much the back end of the Jeep. I think that about all that's left then is to show you guys these window inserts that I've got, which come in really handy. Like this one, during the night I'll put it in like this so that it keeps me kind of protected from the cold a little bit more, keeps more heat in, and I'm not going to worry about putting it in perfect right now, but then if I want, in the hot summer days, I can flip these around to the other side of the Jeep, and they work pretty well as a sunblock, you know, in the other windows to keep it a little bit cooler in the Jeep during hot days. So kind of dual purpose there. And then I do have, I think it's buried under there, under these window inserts at the moment. I'll slide that in a minute when I got two hands. I think it's buried in here somewhere. Yeah, you can see the silverish package back there. That's my window cover for the windshield, my sunshade for the windshield, pop-up kind of deal. I didn't want to try to do like a whole big sturdy, you know, kind of windshade, or sunshade I should say, for the windshield, so I just went with a pop-up one I bought online. It works really well. And then this is Brownie's area in the car. She's got all her food stuff, water bowls, food bowls, blanket, all that stuff down on the floor. And then I actually figured out that with this clip, I can use one of these collapsible bowls and I can have water available to her in the car directly from her seat, even when I'm not, you know, directly there at the car. So this is her seat. This all seat belts in. And it's got a lead that clips on so that if I really got to hit the brakes, she'll be fine. She won't go flying into the windshield. So that's pretty good for her, you know, and she has no problem jumping up and then into her seat. So that works pretty well. And I have actually, I don't think she was in the car with me at the time, but I have actually had to lock up my brakes recently when I was run off the highway by a dump truck, and everything in the Jeep stayed put fine. So that was really kind of a unexpected test, you could say, to make sure everything is secured well enough. Oh yeah, and then I could just stick my hiking trekking pole or whatever you want to call it in there. This is extra tools, duct tape, Gorilla tape, extension cord, voltmeter, extra battery down there. This is for working on the Jeep or, you know, other purposes, just to keep you clean from the ground. And then down here I've got my kind of, off the camera, I've got my general access, or easy access rags and paper towel, and then inside of these containers I have extra paper towels, cleaning materials, all sorts of stuff like that for keeping the Jeep clean. I've got my repair manual I picked up a little while ago in the back of the seat, as well as an umbrella. And then I guess the last thing will be just to show you all over here. I've got, this has no gas in it. I don't like running with gas in it if I don't have to, but it's a gallon gas tank in case I run out of gas somewhere and I gotta walk to the gas station. Good thing to have. And then down here I have all sorts of bungee cords, as well as extra brake pads, just in case. I doubt I'll need them, but they don't take up almost any room. So that kind of stuff down there. Oh yeah, and then the last thing is, originally I took the spare tire out of the Jeep behind. I suppose I can tell you that too. This is the laptop actually in its case, and I put a pillowcase over it just to kind of disguise it, keep it out of view. It makes it look like a pillow, so it works pretty well. But behind that is where the spare tire was originally mounted, and it's a full-size spare, but I ended up actually just putting it up on the roof, and I used ratchet straps to my roof rack in order to just keep that in place, keep it from moving around. And I've driven many miles with this and it hasn't moved at all. We tightened the straps and all that to make sure it's good to go, and it is. So that's a good spot for the spare tire. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much everything as far as the Jeep goes. I've also got, while I'm thinking about it, in the backpack I put Brownie's backpacking pack, this green thing here. That's her pack for, you know, if we do like a multi-day backpacking trip and I don't want to carry 3 days worth of food and water for her. She doesn't have any problem carrying that stuff, so I can stuff it in there. And of course I could use this to stuff all their junk into if I really wanted to, but I'll try to avoid doing that if I don't have to. So yeah, that's the setup currently in the Jeep. I think it's going to work really well. You know, even though there's a lot of stuff in the Jeep, I still have plenty of room to lay down, relax. And then at night, if I'm at a campground or somewhere, you know, I can do so. I actually take the cooler out of the Jeep, leaving this area free for doing whatever, which frees up some space. So altogether, I think it's going to work out pretty well. And that's kind of how I got it set up right now. If anyone has any suggestions or advice on things I might be looking to change or things I might not have thought of, I'd appreciate your input. So until then, this is For the Love of Hiking signing off. Okay, so actually I lied. There's a few things I forgot to show you guys. So real quick, in the glove box here, I've got glass cleaner because the windows tend to condensate at night. So I have to clean my windows pretty often to make sure that they are easily visible. This is just some tissue, lint roller, Brownie's flea and tick stuff, different things like that. Just kind of little miscellaneous easy access stuff. And then in the back, once you take out this bin with all my cooking stuff in it, there's space back here where I'm able to store my tent. This is extra Sawyer filter bags, and then that is my Ronco Pocket Fisherman in that red bag, which is very handy for backpacking and fishing. So that stuff's up there. And then the last thing I can think of that I forgot is up underneath this tool bag here, which is kind of hard to move around, but that gray case is my jack for the Jeep, in case I need to swap tire or whatever. So yeah, those few things are what I had forgotten. I just wanted to make sure I got those in, and that should about do it.